Hello everyone. Today's lesson is going to be very simple but very useful. Not all the time we're going to say things that are happening now or that are just completely finished from the past. But sometimes we want to say events or refer to certain events that happened in the past or started in the past and still have some relationship with our right now. That's when we're going to use the present perfect. The present perfect might seem a bit scary and sometimes is easily confused with other tenses. But as long as you know the formula or the pattern, it is very easy to use it and feel comfortable doing it. So this is the pattern that we're going to follow in order to review this tense. The present perfect will need a subject. We'll use the auxiliary verb had or has, and will require the main verb in its participle form. Here we're going to see an example. We have the present. I study English. I study English right now. That's what I'm doing currently. And this week, this year, I study English. Now, in the present perfect, I can move from this point to this other point. I have studied English. It is very important to add here some time to make it even more clear. I have studied English for 2 years. I started in 2021 and now in 2023 I am still studying English. So I have studied English for 2 years. That would be a sentence using this tense. Let's see another couple of examples. She has read many books. Well, she has read many books indeed, but she still reads many books. She likes reading a lot and she continues reading. So she started reading in the past and she continues reading by now. Let's look at the other example. They have been married for many years. So they got married and they continue right now. It started in the past, but has this important relationship with our current time. Now I want you to give me some examples. Try practicing it. Let's look at the formula to keep it clear. Let's make sure that we use the auxiliary and that we don't forget about this main verb in its participle form. If it is a regular verb, adding ed. If it is a non-regular verb, remembering the correct participle form. That sometimes can be tricky and yet we need to remember. Okay? Let's practice with some sentences that are related to us so that we will be able to remember it. Keep it very close and use it every time that is needed. Thank you. Okay. Now, I would like also to mention a time when I have an issue with my online teaching. So we had certain problems with the software. and we were able to solve the problem because we had a different communication channel. So we had to communicate through the different chat that we had on our phones. So we were always very aware of it. We communicated with our department, and then they explained to us, you had this pop-up, this is something that you need to do before you can actually be able to listen and be able to see properly what's going on in the class. Some of the times, or a couple of times, it also occurs that speed was very slow, mine wasn't very fast, my students' speed wasn't perfect either. So we used the chat box, we communicated the problem because it was really difficult to hear. We all agreed we were going to stop the session for 5 minutes. We were going to take advantage of the time. We were going to drink some water. We were going to reset. And then when we came back, we logged in again and everything was working a little bit better. So sometimes making the best out of it, right? It wasn't working. So let's take a break. Let's do something productive, recharge, and get back to it. And also to describe a time when I felt like it was really successful, or that my teaching was really successful. I think that it's been when I see confidence in my students, when they tell me, yes, I have a job interview, or I had this phone call with a client. Despite the fact that I was super nervous, I could remember some of the things that we spoke in class, and I did it to the best of my ability, because I was not just given content, or I was not just given certain rules and certain patterns to communicate, but more than that, I was given confidence, and I was presented with this huge panorama of what it is to talk with people from different countries and from different cultures, and that confidence allowed some of my students to be successful. And I think that for a teacher to feel that something is a success, it has to come from what students achieve, not from what the teacher is achieving. So I think that's been one of the most rewarding experiences, and definitely some of the reasons why I continue as a teacher. Thank you.